customer states. I borrowed this tractor from a buddy of mine, and it's not quite running right anymore. I've had, borrowed it for 4 or 5 years now, and I haven't done anything to it. And it's leaking hydraulic oil and a couple other things. Can you check it out? Sure. I feel I need the little finger pointer. So, dude brought this over, and even just at first glance, it's, unfortunately in pretty rough shape. It's got a big old chunk of plastic missing out of there. I just did a preliminary pressure wash on it, but so some of these spots are water, but leaking oil pretty good. Had a big old puddle of oil underneath the backhoe swing pivot and up here at the loader. And let's see. The loader hydraulic lines is leaking pretty good. And can you get I guess can't really see, the bucket's all bowed to shit. And so give it a preliminary pressure wash and started checking things out and what have you. Now, the hour meter, you can't focus, you fuck. The digits are not working correctly, but I would guess that that's 1,800 hours. I would assume. I don't really know for sure. But this thing's obviously been rode hard and put away wet. Fucking hood's broken out. The front grille is missing. I can't get the radiator screen out by hand. Is it? No. Can't get that out by hand. All 4 tires were flat. This one's still flat because I can't remove the valve stem cap by hand, and I'm scared to put a tool on there. And so I started poking around on it and what have you, and I found some very scary things. So there's obviously a ton of mud, and there's sticks and shit and everything all over, but that is the factory filter. When Kubota paints these things, they paint over everything, and that is the factory gray paint, just like the rest of the machine. So it's got the original hydraulic filter on it. The hydraulic pump sounds like shit on it. And it won't move any of the hydraulics unless you rev it up. I actually haven't checked the hydraulic oil yet. I'll pull that dipstick. Well, maybe not so much the fucker seized in place, but I would imagine the hydraulic oil looks like diesel oil. And yeah, hydraulic pump sounds like shit. Won't move any of the hydraulics unless you rev on the engine. I noticed too the fucking... Can you tell? Yeah. The fucking stick on the backhoe is bent. Had a really hard day. And it still has the original engine oil filter on it and is dented in several spots. Presumably from sticks coming up and poking it and what have you. Actually, would have been better if a stick did poke a hole through it, and then maybe they'd notice that something's wrong, and the thing was leaking oil. The oil is low on the dipstick, but I had it running just a second ago, and it looks like absolute dog shit. I had the engine running with the oil fill cap off of it, and surprisingly enough, there is no blow-by. And it actually looks... surprisingly good in there. There's not... I mean, you can still see like bright aluminum and what have you. Like, that's fucking crazy. That is insane that looks that clean in there. Yeah, of course, hasn't been greased. I'm sure all the pins are fucked on it. And Went to go pop the air filter cover off here, and yeah, I would wager to say that that's probably the original air filter as well too. God, looking, it doesn't look right. Like, yes, it's packed full of shit, but there's a big gap right there. I wonder if it sucked in the air filter and is passing dust into the engine, but I'm actually going to call the customer and before I pop that air filter out. Yeah, it's just crazy. Fucking fan shroud's broken out. Fan shroud's broken here. It's insane. And it's also really sad too. My backhoe has got over 10,000 hours on it, and it is in far better shape than this thing here. And there's just no need for something to be beat to shit and mistreated like this here. I haven't actually checked the coolant yet. Wonder what that looks like. Yeah, it's got coolant in it, so there's surprise number one. I wonder if the front axle plug. Yeah, not so much. But if I were to take a shot in the dark, that's probably not looking good either. On one hand, this is a testament, I guess, if you will, to how insanely durable these Kubotas are. And even then, the modern ones aren't as good as the older ones. Like, it's got plastic grab handles on it here, and the other side is broken off. These are nowhere. Yeah, these newer ones are nowhere near as good as the old ones. But the fact that engine has no blow-by and is still running, I mean, I would assume that they had to add oil to it, but haven't put a filter on it in nearly 2,000 hours. That is insane. I would like to change the oil on it and the filter and all that shit, but I'm gonna talk to the guy and see if he wants to. I'm gonna talk to him before I do anything, because I'm sure that this thing is gonna be opening Pandora's box. But moral of the story: take care of your shit. These tractors are rather expensive. I don't know what something like this goes for. I mean, maybe what, $25,000 or 30 with the fucking backhoe on it or something. I'm not entirely sure, but this thing could be a very useful tool for somebody, and you could get 10,000-15,000 hours out of it if you take care of it. This thing here is in very, very rough shape at a fraction of that.